Oh, hi there. Cello. Hey now. Hola. And ba weep grana weep mini bong. However you want to say it. Welcome to that Kev 1 show. Hey all, and thank you for joining me on what's set to be a historic journey where history, future history, will be altered. The reveal of that tonight, plus premiere day, music from Vultures Row, following tonight's monologue, so let's go. We're filming tonight's episode at the 1.21 kilowatts production home office in the shadow of Laurelhurst Manor, where I filmed at least one scene of Grasshopper, no, at least two scenes, to be sure. And as promised, the show's socials, the top two Patreons would have their inquiries answered in tonight's monologue. So without further ado, let's see. Thank you. Albert Jezebel, cool name. Let's see. They wrote us. Hey, film guy. I just watched White Lotus's finale. It sucked so bad. I noticed a lot of TV finales suck a lot for the number 4 some reason. Why do you believe this is? Okay. Cool notes. Let's see. Going into this live. Yeah, I did see White Lotus, and do I agree? I mean, a lot of episodes when you have 24 episodes a season, well, 10 episodes for a lot of shows now. So I guess there's less of an excuse to have filler and not the greatest episodes ever. But I did see White Lotus though, and believe it or not, I do agree with you. I love White Lotus, I will say that, and I love Walton Goggins, who was on the season. But sadly for White Lotus and for Mr. Goggins, who I love still, very excited when he was on Saturday Night Live recently. I felt like we were all finally on SNL in a way. Still loved him forever. It was undisputably the worst season of White Lotus, the newest season, season 3. The worst season of White Lotus for sure, like scientifically, critically, everyone would agree. I mean, if someone watched White Lotus for the first time this season and loved it for the vibe and everything, yeah. But even then, if they watched seasons 1, seasons 2, they'd be like, oh yeah, those seasons were better, for sure, you know what I mean? But they'd be like how a lot of people with Batman Forever or something like that would be like, well, but there's a special place in my heart because it was my first one, you know? But yeah, and the actors were great and everything, and saw that great vibe. Kind of like with Ryan Murphy, how like everything Ryan Murphy makes, he makes great stuff, and he's a great artist. I said that, by the way. But a lot of American Horror Story like falls apart toward the end. It's all like such cinema. You're watching it like, wow, this is amazingly filmed. The costumes, the writing, the dialogue, the acting, the cinematography, everything, you know, so groovy. Yeah, je ne sais quoi, yes, you know, has a spark and magic. But like somehow it's like kind of like final senioritis, maybe you might want to say, kind of falls apart. Kind of like how a lot of finales do. It's weird. When it should just be building to a climax. There's been a lot of great finales. But one of my favorite shows that no one's seen, it feels like Viper, had a phenomenal finale. Tying it back to Joe Astor from season 1, and yeah, tying it all up in a nice bow. We didn't even know it was the final 2 episodes, but you're watching, like, oh, wow, these are the perfect final 2 episodes. Yeah, who knows what or why, but a lot of finales shit the bed. You know, they fall apart. It's just really weird. It's like a weird. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like, you know, a virus spreading or something like that, or a pandemic of storytelling, mind you. But it's odd. A lot of you guys out there noticed it, and I'm agreeing with this Patreon. That a lot of finales, not all finales, but a lot of them, yeah. Like Game of Thrones famously, a lot of people say almost ruined the series. Like the series was so great on so many insanely epic levels. But then, yeah, anyway, everyone can agree that Game of Thrones was not the best finale. To the point that I haven't even seen that House of Dragon show, which a lot of people are saying is good. Because I'm just like, well, maybe I'll wait till that whole series is over and they say it was all good. Oh, great, you know? It's like the Seinfeld finale. Phenomenal, obviously landmark series, show about nothing that was just classic, amazing, so brilliant. And the finale even the creators of it said it kind of, you're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Especially if you watched it live, rather. Because if you recall, and if you didn't, you're here to find out about it. Master of Pop Culture. I even know about that stuff before life began. Like, how do I do that? Anyway, it's like the U2 song. Well, you don't know, you could feel somehow. Anyway, but Seinfeld had a 2-hour finale. The final hour was that, which now is in 2 parts in syndication, 2 episodes. And the first hour was kind of like a tribute to Seinfeld, I'm trying to recall. So, like, new, you know. Which had like a special, you know, gushing and loving the show. I think it premiered that Green Day song, Hope You Had the Time of Your Life. Great music video, a little montage with the cast and stuff. And it literally, they had a moment where they were like, you know, gushing over the show, and like a segment where they had like all the characters coming back, showing all the characters, just like a montage of them, you know, like every single character from the Soup Nazi to, you know, Mr. Pitt, everybody. Every single character, I feel like. I mean, maybe they missed one out, but I don't think they did. But, you know, they had like every character, you know, essentially, not literally. And then you had the final 2 episodes, you know, decent. But it definitely went from that senioritis thing. It had that senioritis thing where literally, there's like moments where you're just like, they're treading water. I hate that. So many finales where they have all these episodes, great shows. You know, certain pitch, certain pace. And then the final episodes, there's always like a moment, if not often, always, a moment where it's like they're just like showing part of the set. Like, is this supposed to be somber or something? Even though it's a sitcom or something like that? Like showing the hallway or the den where there's a major scenes all the time, or the doors to the office, and like characters like, huh. And it's like there's like white noise, like just wasting time. It's just weird. I don't know if it's the actors being so emotional and it just takes you out of it. Like the makeup's more apparent and you want to be in the moment. There's been plenty of finales that don't crap the bed, but like so many just like have that senioritis where it's just like, what's going on? And where you're sitting there where you're like, well, if it gets really good now, it'll still be good overall. It's like, why are you having to ponder that? And it almost seems like a problem that would be hard to have. You have so many loose ends you got to tie up. Why would you waste time? And they often like include like a brand new guest starring character where it's like, do we have time for that? I'm like, whoa, we're spending how much time on this person? You know, it's just odd. Yeah, so Seinfeld, for example, like they're making fun of a fat person, which doesn't age well. And even in the moment, I'm like, okay, they're doing this. Even then, you know, even though they're, narcissistic people, but it's like, what the hell? Like, this is pretty short sight. Even then, it's like, well, this is not going to age well. And you didn't even use that expression then. And then they're on trial. And then they're on trial. Them being on trial is literally just obviously a cheap vehicle to have every single former character or a lot of them come back and as character witnesses, like attack them. Like, no, they're awful people. But it's like, dude, we just literally watched an hour of these people, their cameos. We don't need this now. If we didn't have that, this would be like, oh, you know. But yeah, it was just like, huh. It was just a lot of finales just, anyway. And they even know that they didn't do the best, because years later on Curb Your Enthusiasm with a great finale, Jerry and Larry, when Larry escapes prison, they're like, this is how we should have ended the finale. But White Lotus, you were saying White Lotus, sorry. What the heck? Like, obviously the worst season of White Lotus, because the writing was just not there. The acting was great, and I'm sure the writers could do, I don't know if they were the same writers. I think Mike White wrote all the series. I feel like every single one said written and directed by Mike White, right? So who knows where they just didn't have focus in the third season of White Lotus. It was ridiculous. There were so many characters that were just too dumb to be alive still, or something. You know what I mean? For the woman that was the physical therapist from season 1 or whatever, who saw the killer of Tanya, whatever the Stifler's mom, the great Jennifer Coolidge, who passed last season or the season before it. But when she puts it together that, oh my God, this guy killed her for the money, and oh my God, it's like, okay, this person is a killer, killed for money. You're sure of it. You suspect it highly, or you're sure of it. And then you walk up to him and you're like, oh, do I know you? When she didn't quite realize, that she killed him. That he was killed by her, that he killed her. Then he killed Jennifer Coolidge's character for the money. He's like, do I know you? And he's like, no, no. And then she's like, well, no, I know I knew him. And she researched online. Oh my God, the woman disappeared. Oh my God, he killed her, And so then she's telling people, oh my God, he's a killer. And then she's walking by his table, mean mugging him, staring at him, looking at him, walking in slow motion. I know they slow moted, but walking by, exaggerated with slow motion, but staring, mean mugging, like cartoonishly, like a kid, like meh, and like looking at him like shame, walking by slow and walking off. I'm like, okay, you're doing that to a person who you said you recognize, who you highly suspect or know killed someone for millions upon millions or $1 billion or something, like some crazy insane amount, to where they're living rich in Thailand in mansions and like the richest person on the hill or whatever, one of the richest people on the island. Powerful as heck, and killed for the money. And you're making it obvious that you know it, suspect it, and may endanger their way of life. What? No. Too stupid, too stupid, too stupid. And then the fact that she, did the same thing that she was accusing Jennifer Coolidge's character of, running off and not caring when her new lover, who she was going to start a business with, want to start a business, and then she had the money. No, I don't want to. Things change. Things change. It's like, wow, you're gold digger, and you're not even going to open a business. You're just going to go off with the money. Wow. Anyway, but she wasn't even the worst of the worst. But it was so bad and annoying that it's like, oh my gosh, and no fault of the actress minding the writing. It wasn't there. But my biggest, oh my lord, not hating, but was the guard. The guard, who had a heart of gold, again, acting great. He was the guard, that couldn't even be violent against people that were robbing the island, and he had to stop them at the gate, and they knocked him down or knocked him out, beat him up. He couldn't fight back. He said to the pretty girl he has a crush on, who's a hostess, who's some big pop star, I guess, somewhere else, but new to Americans, most American audiences at least. But he says to his crush, who's put him in the friend zone in the first episode, but who he keeps trying to chip away at with flirtation and being nice and stuff. He literally couldn't fight back, and she's like, oh, and she's like, oh, and he's in the friend zone, and then he's like, well, I might be the guard of the wife of the island soon, like these douchebags who are mercenary looking hunk types, and that flirt with her and stuff in front of him. He's like, well, I might try to be the guard of the the owner's wife of the island. Oh, really? She's impressed by that. But that's not him, because he can't even fight the guard. He can't even fight people robbing the place when he's guarding the gate. And people are like, well, we're not going to fire you. You're so nice. We're going to give you gun training. Gun. Okay. But he said he believes in Buddha, and he wants to be like Buddha. And that's why he couldn't even fight the people back that were robbing the place. So great. That's awesome. Shouldn't be a security guard. You know what I mean? Practice the ways of Buddha, write some books, do some artistic, hopefully. Awesome. Whatever. Find some other path. Be you. That's great. That's a character who's being fleshed out. And then he even leaves the gun out in the open. That's supposed to be in a safe or a locked drawer, and a locked case within that drawer. He just leaves it on the table. It gets stolen by Jason Isaac's character, who's got problems going on. He's visiting the island. And then at the end of the freaking show, final episode, spoiler alerts, by the way, this is for my Patreon who hated the White Lotus finale, and I'm joining them, and they might be like, whoa, dial it back, Kevin. But the guard is being yelled at by the owner's wife, the owner shot by Walton Goggins' character. So the guard, who's a pacifist, can't hurt a fly, and gets beat up by robbers, even if his life's in danger, he gets beat up, and he found out who one of the robbers was, a masseuse on the island. He didn't squeal. He's like, oh, he avoids conflict, wants to be like Buddha. Anyway, he shoots Walton Goggins' character, and did he shoot the girlfriend? The girlfriend got shot. But a lot of people got shot that last day on the island for everyone there. And he should be traumatized. Okay, he was yelled at by the owner, shoot him, and he just saw his, the owner shots, and the owner's wife's yelling, shoot him. And so he shoots a person in the back who's carrying his girlfriend away, and he shoots them, and the guy dies. Walton Goggins tragically dies. on his day of redemption, mind you, when he was, becoming a better person and, finding a new lease on life, and he gets shot. But so the security guard should be traumatized. His hands should be shaking. It's almost questionable if he could have shot them in any situation. You know what I'm saying? But he did. Okay, fine. Yeah, believable enough. But then it ends with everything's all tied up in a bow, happy endings. People are waving bye to everybody like a normal day, even though it'd be on lockdown after a shooting, let alone the owners being shot. Three plus people shot and dead. It's like everyone's just leaving same day. Bye on the island. Things come again. Like no one, not even like a no heavy-handed. Well, that was a bit of a day. Oh my God, no, nothing. No, thanks for doing that exit interview and with the authorities or no. And everyone's on the boat like, oh, we had a great experience. Like what? And the guard's leaving. It shows him in the happy bow, putting sunglasses on, like he's Mr. Cool, driving off with a smirk. And the girl that is crushed, like, hee, bye. Like they're gonna be together now. And he's the guards, and he's the owner's widow now's guard. Makes no sense because he should be traumatized, not a security guard. And it's not he's like some former, badass assassin who shot the wrong person on accident and he has to find, get his groove back. No. It's a guard that never should have been a guard, technically. And that was interesting about him. Yeah, it's just, he was kind of too good, moral-wise for that girl. It's like, well, she wants, because over dinner she's like, what? Oh, I thought you had more ambition. Like, well, no, I might want to be a guard. And then I was like, well, no, I don't think I want to be a guard. And she's like, and then she, ends up shooting. Anyway, it's just wild. And Jason Isaac's character, don't get me started on that. I'll dive into it though, because you want to hear about how White Lotus, the finale sucked of season 3. Jason Isaac's character, white collar family. He's like some sort of a big accountant. They say a big business, white collar businessman. But there was embezzlement or insider trading early on. They kind of glazed over. I think they explained what it was, but it was something illegal they did early on in his career, how he got rich. And he's got this rich family, even with a Karen, played by Parker Posey, phenomenally. Everyone did phenomenally, mind you. The biggest douchebag son ever, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. Another daughter and another young child. And they all say to him that they would rather die than be poor. And he keeps asking that because he finds out right when they get to the island, essentially, that the New York Times or some people are trying to contact him. Why do they want to interview me? What? And he asks someone in the office, oh, yeah. And then he talks to someone. And it's like, we're in trouble. They know about whatever the insider trading was or whatever it was that helped get all of them rich in the startup years and years ago. Why they're so rich and well off. And before he's like, well, it's like, dude, you need to be on your phone. Horrible writing, by the way. Because, the little stewardess there, the hostess is like, oh, you guys want to doesn't say you have to, but it says a lot of families and people on the island put their phones and electronic devices in a bag for the week that they're here and don't use them the whole time they're here. Well, I don't know about that. What? What's the Wi-Fi password? What do you mean? And it's like, well, you don't have to, but it's suggested. And, you don't have to, but, if you don't choose to partake in that, please don't use your electronic devices around other guests in public at the, the restaurant and stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, guess what? He has to not partake in that. His whole world is going to crumble. Even if he wasn't a douchebag. All of his stuff's going to be frozen. And so just because his son was going to maybe use the internet, he's like, oh, no, we'll all do it. And then and then he even takes his phone out the next night or that night or one day later. And then he finds out the SHIT that he's in because his accountant's even yeah, you got to talk to somebody and you should just admit this and you only get a X amount of time in prison or whatever. Like, what? Prison? What? And quite frankly, I don't know how they didn't freeze your accounts already. If they didn't, what? We're going to be poor? What? And then he gives his phone away again. Just when the lady walks by, no, bro. You need to be on your phone. I get you don't want to tell your family and upset them yet. You want me to find a way out of it. He's not on his phone for a week or 3 or 4 days when he has to find a way out of this or find out how bad it is or something. Cop a plea. Find out if he can't cop a plea, something, not be on your phone as everything's going to be frozen if it's not frozen. You need to be getting all your money out of your accounts and hiding it somewhere in the Cayman Islands or whatever, duffel bags, whatever. Whatever you can do, you need to be on your mother effing phone. You need to not on your phone. And then taking the Xanax or whatever of his wife, all these drugs in his wife's purse, getting drugged out. Everyone knows he's out of it. What? Even having fantasies about killing his family because it becomes more and more obvious that he can't live without being rich. They're all vapid. His wife doesn't want to be poor, wouldn't want to live to be poor. His douchebag son, of course, doesn't. And then even his daughter, who they came there because she wanted to maybe, live the Buddhist lifestyle for a year abroad. And they were against that already, the wife especially. Even she's like, when she just stays overnight there, oh, the bed was kind of hard. No, I like my Egyptian cotton or whatever the heck. And it's just literally like, no, I can't be poor either. Like, oh my God, essentially the whole family. The youngest son's kind of all right about it. But like, it's like, what? And we don't even get what we need. And come on, a climax of, it'd even be great to see how they respond to being poor with no money and stuff like, whoa. But we at least need their reaction. They even get handed their phones on the boat when they're leaving. And it's like kind of ambiguous. Are their phones turning on? There's definitely no reaction. There's not even like an eyebrow raise. I mean, there's almost an eyebrow raise type vibe, but nothing even like, oh. And just Jason Atkins saying, we'll get through it, guys. Whatever, something's going to come. Or whatever comes, we're going to get through it. That's it. And it cuts away to, something else. Maybe that might be the last shot of the show. What? Like, no, bro. We know Parker Posey's character is not going to be happy with it. None of them are going to be happy with it, period. Anyone wouldn't be happy with it, really. But they really wouldn't be happy with it. We need their reaction. And we already had this kind of like him giving it's going to be fine speech because he gave a speech earlier when he was going to poison his family about like, we're great as a family, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I love you guys, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Because he thought it was going to be their final moments. Then he knocks the drinks out of their hands, early on. But it's like, so we don't even get that climactic reaction. I mean, it'd be great to see them come home post-credit scene and like the FBI or whoever seized all their stuff. Just that reaction, like, whoa, almost worthy of a spinoff, but I don't know if I trust him at this point. Speaking of which, Jason Isaacs, the one who stole the gun that the guard left out, not in the locked box and not in the drawer that's locked, but out on the table. He steals the gun. It's just like, bro, so much bad writing like that. We needed the climax of that. The guard thing made no sense. The fact that the island's not on lockdown / partial lockdown / everyone's just fine and leaving the island like it's a normal day. Like the three middle-aged women literally had this horrible blow up. Greatly written, great moments, great. That was a great part of the season. And then they kind of made up. Great monologues by them. Especially by Miss Kuhn. Oh my God. She might have won an Emmy by the time of this recording. Talking about it's just great to be there at that age. We're sisters. It was great. So they made up. They had a big falling out and they made up. That was great. That was powerful. That was great for them. They had a whole story arc. But then they're next to the owner when he gets shot by Walton Goggins' character with the wife next to them. They're all around him running. The guard gets shot, falls in the water, might be dead. I don't know. He falls into the water, so I don't believe they show his fate. But Walton Goggins dies. His girlfriend dies. The owner dies. They're there. The three middle-aged women are there. And then the show ends with, bye, everybody. Bye. Come back soon. Kind of like when they come to the town every time at White Lotus, all of them. It's like, no. There's not even like a haggard, like, like we had some troublesome guests. No, there was a shooting, and your boss, the owner of the island, died. The owner of the hotel chain died. There, that day, and it was that day. No time jump, no 2 days later where you can, was it 2 days later? No. Because everything was leading to, like, the final episode of that season. And, like, tomorrow's the last day. The last day for you to get revenge, Walton Goggins' character. Last day, so you gonna talk to them when you're not getting along with your middle-aged friend? Anyway, so it's like, it was the same day. We didn't even see any authorities. It's just like, bye-bye. And even the douchebag family, we got our phones back. Even they'd be like, they'd make it about them. Or like, man, it could have been us. Or something. That was sick, man. Would you see the body? Or something. Nothing. No one had any, it was as if no one got shot. But the owner of the island got shot in front of three of the characters on the boat, leaving, whew, what a day. And they're just kind of leaning at each other like, wow, we're all friends again. Not, wow, we saw someone get shot. Or not even like, no one even with fake dramatics as some humans do, Everyone's a narcissist in this digital age, more than they were. So yes, I definitely concur on that. It's, what? You know what I mean? Like, oh my Lord. And like, poor Walton Goggins, because I love Walton Goggins. I've loved him since, and a lot of people love him since Sons of Anarchy. I don't know when, because he's such a character that's been around forever. But he's one of those guys that you see and you're like, oh, he's a good guy. He's in so much great stuff. He's going to be great. Oh my gosh. And I don't think he's ever in something bad. He's in the worst season of White Lotus, but not because of him. You know what I mean? And I'm sure next season will be great. Probably, I'm optimistic. Mike White made some other great seasons and great moments in this one. So yeah, I trust it. Kind of like Ryan Murphy, I'll probably watch almost anything he does. And Mike White has only had one misstep that I've seen. I've seen all his work. I didn't see him on Survivor. I know he was on Survivor, but he was a participant in that, not the creator. But yeah, but poor Walton Goggins, going back to him, I keep saying him because it's great that he blew up from this as well. But he was also in another finale of a great show that the finale was bad. Not fault of his as well. The Righteous Gemstones, so great. Whole series is like great. A lot of the season was great. A lot of people say, I probably might agree, might have to analyze that more before I fully agree, that last season might have been the one that it should have ended on. I even had a guest on the show that was on that season. But, they ended with like them in the monster truck, and everyone ended kind of in a good spot. It was organic. They even had like the mother character that has been dead since before the series started, like in the clouds, like looking down on them from heaven, apparently, right? And it almost seemed like a finale. I love the Bradley Cooper serious intro this season and a lot of the moments this season. But like for example, Walton Goggins' fan favorite character, Uncle Baby Billy, he quit. He wasn't true to his character. How he just quit that Teen Just show. He came up with the Teen Just show, hilarious, and then decided to play Teen Just after a while, also super duper hilarious. And yeah, we saw as he has a fractured character. Not saying he's right, but we saw the reasons his character was such a go-getter and trying to make so much money because he was so down and out so many times. And then he finally found success, and he's creative. He created Teen Just, for example, and he's playing Teen Just at some point. And then like he just decides to quit on a dime. It's like, no, there wasn't even a moment where he saw like like a fence with a gap in it that was kind of like his wife's famous gap in her teeth. Like, oh, which even still would be a little cheap to get to, but not even that. Just like, guys, I quit. The show's over. I'll take the bullet, even though it's $1 million or whatever it was, that he said. I gotta see my family. It's like just out of nowhere. There's not even like a real light bulb epiphany moment. I mean, his wife, he was coming home with his wife every day. It wasn't even like his wife was across a continent or something like that. And she would understand. She loved him. I mean, he could have, you know what I mean? It was just like, and then everyone's, gushing about the show still and saying, we want a Baby Billy spinoff. What would the spinoff be? He quit his core character traits of like go-getter and creating stuff. Everyone's like, oh, we want a Baby Billy series with a spinoff where he does baby bonkers and all his little, get rich quick schemes. And it's like, he is all about family now on a dime. And he could love his family. He loved his family, obviously. He loved Tiff and all that. I'm glad that he loved his family. And he already did. It was known that he loved his family. He kept Tiff around and had his new family, his new child. We know he gave up on his special needs son Harmon and his first wife, and that was tragic. And oh my gosh, but he was loving his new family, and he was already loving them. He wasn't abusing them. He had his kids bouncing on his knee, and it was funny, and and all season he was famously funny, hilariously giving up to the nanny, like where's the nanny? Nan, you can have this one, jokingly, obviously, but it's like, yeah, and then just to turn on such a dime, it's like, well, that wasn't true to the character. And there's so many moments in Righteous Gemstones where they're, even this season, we're like, oh my God, are they going to be fed to gators? Are they going to get, sexually assaulted by that ex-boyfriend of John Goodman's love interest this season? It all seems serious. It's comedic, but it's also so much seriousness when it comes to danger in Righteous Gemstones until the final episode where Jesse gets shot, Kelvin gets shot, Judy gets shot. And you're like, oh my God. And you first see Jesse shot, like, oh my God, is he going to die? And then he slaps the ground hilariously and pulls himself. It's kind of funny, like a walrus dragging himself. Like, okay, maybe he's not going to die. And then Judy does the exact same walrus slap into frame, pulls herself. Kelvin. I'm like, okay, now this is just sitcom-y. And obviously they're really all not going to die. None of them are going to die, obviously. And then they're all not even no injured arteries or, they're all moving and dancing at Kelvin's wedding. Like, we skip to them. How much of a time to it? They don't even talk about physical therapy or anything. It's just, we're bulletproof. I thought maybe Jesse, we just see only him get shot first. That maybe it would all tie back to, good writing. That'd be the Golden Bible that's in the season, gold-plated Bible that Bradley Cooper stole in 1873 or whatever, in the past, and they kept in their family to present day. Yeah, there was real danger even in every season except for the final episode, where there's even a duel. Stephen Dorff's character throws the yellow cloth in their little cult-like group on his, I challenge you to a duel. And then they cut right to the duel where Jesse, who's been a coward the whole series, he's gotten better and he has very redeemable traits. He loves his family, yeah, but he's been a coward, like a lot of Danny McBride's characters, who are braggadocious, but, very braggadocious, but very cowardice as well when it comes down to it. And then they have an arc, and, they always have a good heart. But anyway, but he has no fear of dueling to the death with Stephen Dorff and turning and shooting at him. And it's just kind of funny how the bullet bounces off a sign. And then John Goodman starts to give a Bible verse and he goes, fuck it, screw it. If you guys, we quit, That could have been a good, more good writing, free set to you. Came up instantly on the fly here. Like, that could have been bookmarked into because they hinted at the possible duel early in the season. Stephen Dorff's been a character this whole time, for many seasons, and this whole season, and scorned by the fact that Kelvin is the top Christ Jesus following man, or or whatever the title was they called it, something like that. Yeah, they could have had the challenge in the beginning like they did, and then had the duel at the end of it. And Jesse's, oh my God, how am I going to survive? Oh my God, I'm scared. And then, had that final moment, even the final inning like that, or similar to that, where John Goodman says the about to do a Bible verse, screw it, I quit. And then right as Gemstones credits, the big, title card. Praise it. Boom. I mean, that even fixes it a bit. But to have Sean William Scott's character be a villain out of nowhere, and it adds up, but it's like, dude, that's great. He's a known name. Great, but it's like, dude, he had 3 lines all season, only on this season, mind you, debuted, and then he's the big bad in the final episode. I'm like, dude, why are we watching this? It's like not having Lex Luthor and Superman fight in the final episode and having just some random, you know what I mean? Oh, just because they're played by someone who has some credits. Well, write that person with credits, more stuff, and make it more sense and make it more important in the series. They could have even had Mulroney's character from the pilot, that they first run out of town at a church, come back for vengeance or something like that, you know what I mean? And it's going on and on, and it's going on and on, and it's a comedy with some serious moments often. But it's like he's hunting them at the beach house. And it's like, dude, Sean William Scott's just because he's Sean William Scott, he's in this more. I mean, they should have wrote him better parts in the season and had him doing this, I guess. But even that the series should have ended as well. They could have run a different comedic role, even rightfully so, more. That would fit more. But him hunting them, serious, dark, very serious. Great acting by his part. It almost kind of didn't fit the show, the over serious part of it. And it's going on and on and on. In the final episode, and we're just showing parts of this beach house that we've only seen 3 episodes in this final season. Not the Gemstones compound, not some other place very religious. I don't know. Or, that would tie into the show more. Just this beach house that they got for free, I guess. It's just like, we're not doing a cheap and industrious A24 film with this cool set we found, and we're making a great film out of it. You guys got HBO money and tons of other sets. It made more sense if they were hunting them than they're on Kelvin's that jungle gym area outside the compound where he had his quote muscle men and quote or something. I don't know. But it's just, we're back at the beach house again. It's like, what, did we just only have the beach house this season? It's just kind of ridiculous. Super series going on and on and on. Different tone than the show normally. Okay. I don't know. It was not a good finale for Righteous Gemstones. Great series overall. Highly recommend it. But guess what? When rewatching it with someone, and I will, I love the show. I love Danny McBride. Can't wait for his next project. I might be on my phone a little bit while the final finale's playing, sadly. But great, and I'm in the middle of showing some of the series now. Season 2 they're on right now, and then we'll hit Eastbound and Down, and then probably Vice Principals. Guess what? Love you guys. Great job. But yeah, finale-itis. What up with that? It is, yeah. Smallville had a good finale. It's like a senioritis or something I call it, where people are phoning it in. I don't know if it's that the actors are so like, oh wow, it's ending, and the crew kind of does what everyone says, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe a solution is like telling actors that the main actors, kind of like I had stuff from a lot of MCU people, fake scripts, but maybe they should, to keep the secrets. Maybe the way of doing that to avoid the finale-itis vibe in the air is to tell actors that, maybe a lot of the crew too, but a lot of the actors that, like the final episode, what's really the final episode, mind you, is the penultimate episode, the second to last episode. And like, so they're going all in still, like, oh, we're going to work, like normal kind of, yeah, we still got, oh man, maybe we're giving gifts to each other and extra hugs. Cool, but we're working. We have no more episode after this. Yeah. And then it's the finale. And then maybe someone will figure out while they're doing it, you know what I mean? Depending on what's going on. Have some fake scenarios that would take place after what the final script is. So they go all in, they're in, going in kind of like when they tell you in karate to punch through the wood and imagine punching something behind it. So you go through it more. Like that. It's for the actors. And then it wraps. Guess what, guys? That was a wrap on the series. Next week, with that time, we're giving, I don't know, we're all having some fun time at this, I don't know, a resort area in the neighborhood, whatever's around there. Celebration, cast and crew celebration for 3 days, or, whatever. You got paid for X amount of episodes. Anyway. But it's just like, yeah, people get that senioritis, I guess. It just sucks when a finale just feels like it takes you out of it. It should be the show still. Like, yeah. It happens to be that climactic episode. It's like when I'm writing a story myself, it's like I treat it like a developing picture. Like, what needs to go there in the story? Sometimes you have the ending first. Sometimes you're going to, but you feel it. It's almost like a psychic thing. It's like, you put it together. It comes to you, So yeah, story should be the story. It should be true, true to itself, undisputably. You know what I mean? And well, on to the next question. And I'll be faster, guys. Don't worry. Diamante wrote, I know this isn't the pet peeve episode, but I just canceled my Peacock subscription due to the egregious amount of ad commercials. How do you cope? Not number one. Hashtag I don't pay for commercials. I don't know if that's an actual hashtag or if they just did that to be cute. Yeah, let's see. I agree, and I think I've covered this a bit before, but yeah, I'll get into this with you. Thanks for supporting the Patreon. Yeah, no, and I actually have Peacock. Yeah, I concur. And I do still have Peacock. It's actually, ironically, one of the only streaming services I use that I pay for. I have, I have Netflix through someone special. I have HBO Max for my sister-in-law. I have, you get your logins and stuff, and I think I pay for Disney Plus and Peacock currently. But I have everything but Apple, which I should get. Anyone want to hand me out? Give me some Apple? And Paramount Plus. Anybody? I don't know. But yeah, it is egregious. Okay, and you hate the Peacock one. No, Peacock and HBO Max to me are some of the worst. Netflix, I don't know, some of those shows have ads and some don't. It's weird. I feel like maybe it's live stuff. So, because like when I watch Raw, if I watch it live, there's ads. If I watch it after it's aired, like you're watching the replay end quote, even they just happened an hour ago, which always sounds funny to me. Watch the replay when it's like everything else you're just watching new. That's obviously recorded a year ago, but it just dropped on Netflix. It just plays episode 1 or whatever it is, playing the movie. But it's funny saying replay. It just seems like you're watching some old thing, like you're watching Goonies or something. Anyway, but maybe that's me. Maybe I'm weird. But keep Portland weird. and I'm its avatar. But yeah, it was egregious with Peacock. I was watching Saturday Night Main Event yesterday, and dude, I felt like they said, and coming up this next match, and I'm like, okay, I felt like 30 minutes passed with the commercials. It was definitely more than 2 and 2. You know how like Love Connection, I used to say, BC and 2 and 2, which obviously seemed like it meant 2 minutes, 2 seconds, right? Which, seeing those rewinds as a kid, I'd be like, okay, that's all commercials are cool. This was way more than that. To the point you'd run downstairs, change your laundry, go to the bathroom, grab a snack with plenty of time. And then I came back upstairs and I heard, because the commercial was over, I heard like match was, oh, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just rewind like half a minute and play. And guess what? Another horrible thing about streaming now. This is the worst time as a viewer to just chill and enjoy stuff, because as a kid, and even before a lot of us were born, people recorded stuff on VHS. Like, I didn't have cable till I moved out of the house and went to LA for acting, where there's no rabbit ears. You had to have cable, And cable used to be a prestigious thing. HBO, no commercials. Oh my gosh, home box office. And like, there's basic cable with some commercials, but like Showtime and everything, no commercials. Oh my God, yeah, cable, you must be rich. And like, guess what? You could record stuff with VHS and fast forward. I remember I did that a little bit in high school for a bit when there was a thing. There was TiVo, there was DVRs, same thing, record a show. Sometimes as like high school or something like that, I think I was like recording Buffy or SmackDown and like waiting an hour or 2 hours after it was over and then watching it so I could fast forward through commercials. But now in 2025 and beyond, whenever you listen to this, maybe commercials are better when you listen to this, but you can't fast forward the commercials currently. Like, what? You're forced to watch commercials? That's wild. It's like forced detention. And there's times where in the morning I'm in a hurry. Say you got to run to work or you got to run out the door, and you just have 3 minutes where you're going to put your deodorant on and you want to take your vitamins and have something playing. Oh, I'll put on one of these mini streaming services I pay for. Or it's a streaming service. You play it. And guess what? You want to watch this thing on HBO Max, formerly the most prestigious thing. It says an ad starting. 1 of 3, 60 seconds already. No. I guess I'm turning this off and living in silence when I'm paying for streaming services and then watching stuff when I have time. In my, how do I cope, you ask? I cope, Diamante, by, when I have time to watch these, mind you, pushing mute on the commercial. Paying attention. Oh, it's 3 seconds left. I can look away at my phone or whatever. You grab a snack. Okay, come back. Oh, 5 seconds left. Unmute. 1 second. Boom, That's a hack, but is it much of a hack? But I came upstairs with Saturday Night Main Event. Match played again. So I rewound back. Sorry, this is a good. I'm doubling back to this. Guess what? You used to, even with VHS, you'd be able to see what your rewind or fast forward, little squiggly lines maybe. And they used to have a thing. I looked this up. It's called scrubbing. There's no scrubbing anymore. You'd have a preview window, a little square in the bottom where you'd rewind or fast forward, and then you'd see in the square where you're going, where it's going. Back and forth. Oh, push play. There's not that anymore. So you just have to watch your timer, and you're rewinding. I guess I'm rewinding back 15 seconds. I don't know how long. You push play. It's not there. It's there. What if it ruins a surprise of this is the killer or a revelation that you didn't want to get that far ahead yet, but you're fast forwarding and rewinding. Now you can't do that anymore? It's crazy. And then especially with commercials, so I rewind back. Okay, it's right before the commercial started. I watched the commercial already. It'll obviously go into where the commercial was and be black, fade in, fade out, right? No. It started the commercials again. I'm watching them twice? No, I'm muting it, but what the heck? So yeah, it's worse than ever before. It's crazy. It's Black Mirror-esque. I mean, you know what I mean? How do we have forced commercials? How did cable last this long with no commercials? Literally just the peanuts from up here, because apparently it's peanuts, since they have to you have you over a barrel now. I mean, they just literally live off their subscriptions. That's it. It's insanity. Insanity. Oh, and let's see another one. One more. Okay, guys? In the small one. Blonde E said, thank you for the whimsy of your mustache brightening the world. It's not a question, but thank you very much, Blonde E, capital E. I guess you see my mustache on socials and the YouTube show. Thanks so much. Yeah, I do get compliments often. If I'm in many places or somewhere too long in public, I get a compliment for sure. So it's keeping my mustache on my face. You know how well, for a girl or a guy, I guess if you have your hair a certain way, or you're dressed a certain way, and you get X amount of compliments, it's like, well, maybe I'll keep this hairstyle. Maybe I'll keep this. You know what I mean? Like, whereas before when I used to change my hair with the seasons, my facial hair rather, I'd be like, does this look good? Is this why the girl smile? This is why they got these heads up? But when they compliment your mustache specifically, it's like, oh, I guess this is me now. And really quick, I'll say, I've said it probably countless times. If you're a fan, yeah, thank COVID for that. Knock away, I never had COVID, mind you. But you had to have the mask. So I kept my beard just kind of growing underneath the mask, when you're in public. And then mask mandate ended. And before I shaved this big old beard, I decided to wax the mustache because it was definitely sticking out a little longer, like a catfish or whiskers or, And so it's like, whoa, it looks kind of cool, like those contests. And like I get compliments all the time. So it's the way now. Yeah, so thanks so much. Yeah. I try to bring joy to the world, and the world's gotten darker for a lot of people, maybe for everybody. So I appreciate that and hope you appreciate me. Thank you, Blondie, for appreciating me. And everyone does. And I appreciate you. And on the subject of, in these trying times, that could be soul crushing or aura crushing or just identity crushing, the saying, the stand the test of time, to be or not to be. If it's to be, it's up to me, a famous doctor said. I'm saying be you. That's my advice. No matter what. Even if you have a soul-crushing day gig or toxic family members or what have you, you know who you are. You know who you are. You know what your best you is. And you know where you want to go, and you have an idea of how to get there, and you might know how to get there. You just got to take those brave steps. Maybe you got to circumvent. Well, Mr. Miyagi said, best way to win fight is no be there, to avoid conflict. But also, if you got to go through it, if you must to succeed, just, go through it, kill it, and do it. Be the best you, no matter what. Don't let anyone stop you. So I'm kind of distracted because I'm getting commotion over. Oh, yes. Okay, guys. I just got the thumbs up from the crew who was timing this monologue. And history, I previously mentioned, has come to pass. Are you curious what that is? Well, we have surpassed the world record longest monologue here live and obviously recorded by, I'm getting like different hand gestures. They're being quiet. Thanks, guys. Derek. By at least we've surpassed the longest world record monologue by 27 minutes, 34 seconds and counting. And it still counts as the monologue. I want to say it does, guys. We surpassed it. Wow. Oh, so this episode itself is proof. But we're also in contact with Guinness. So stay tuned for our official announcement in future episodes. I didn't even ramble on about my keto diet, which I was ready to do. Or go into like a Scrooge McDuck-inspired work smarter, not harder diatribe. Because your boy can ramble. I just had some bullet point ideas of what I might talk about. I just want to jump into it. And I used some of your awesome mailbag questions. As I swear, I promised I would the monologue anyway. But we had this secret idea on getting a world record. Hopefully that helped the show. And hopefully just entertained you, period. Yeah. Oh, man. I was ready to go on about the origins of my mantra, live the love and love the life. Anyway, but we do. And you will. Because guess what? They're so shiny, looking good. You will love life as well. As Vultures Row entices your ear with their epic new song in minutes. This portion of the Kev One Show is brought to you by Coco Burry, the action and chic athletic wear for lounging, stretching, and going to the next level for yourself. I have the olive green pair of athletic shorts that I wear on the weekends lately, so I do my version of yoga. I'm not a yoga enthusiast, but I do my stretches and my karate and taekwondo stuff that I know, especially when watching Cobra Kai and the like. So come on, guys, buy your own pair and jump in today. Thanks to Loros Manor for the accommodations for our crew this week. Look for Grasshopper in theaters and streaming everywhere early next year, rather. And now, get your ears ready and follow Vultures Row Music on all platforms. With their new single Mask dropping today, lend your ears to Vultures Row.
Is there anyone out there who acts some way but feels like something else? I'm not saying I don't care, but look inside and you can surely tell. I don't feel anymore, not the same as before. You would say that I'm dead, but I'm restored, and it's such a relief. I know who I wanna be. You would say that I'm dead, but I am free. Can't you see that it shows that you have found a whole new level of low? Yeah, it's raw but not real. Your insecurities have put you through hell. I might be jaded, but I'm not filled with hatred, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bail. I'm so alive and I don't need your help. Is there anyone out there who makes mistakes but can't admit they're wrong? Do you think you could relate? Do you share what I feel when you listen to this song? Are you sick? Are you bored? Are you waiting for more? Why do you stare at a wall when there's an open door? Knowing it's all in your head, never letting you rest. So perspective is all if you want what's best. Can't you say that it shows that you have found a whole new level of low? Yeah, it's raw but not real. Your insecurities have put you through hell. I might be jaded, but I'm not filled with hatred, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bail. I'm so alive and I don't need your help. And I've been questioning the mask with which we hide. And I'm not perfect, but I wanna be alive. I have no answers, I'm not ignorant but blind. Just drop the mask. Can't you see that it shows that you have found a whole new level of low? Yeah, it's raw but not real. Your insecurities have put you through hell. I might be jaded, but I'm not filled with hatred, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bail. I'm so alive and I don't need your help. Is there anyone out there who acts some way but feels like something else? Is there anyone out there who acts some way but feels like something else?
This episode of That Kev One Show is dedicated to Jack E. Watson, a veteran, golfer, grandpa, and all around great fella. Rep the brand that is behind the scenes film talk, positive vibes, and discovering what the human condition is all about as nonstop creativity guides us on and on and on with That Kev One Show merchandise. Now for sale at thatkev1show.etsy.com. That Kev One Show, spelled of course that, K-E-V number 1 N, show. Hey, you're a fan. You want to rep it. You know how to spell it. So get it today and glow with us. This portion of That Kev One Show is supported by Bohemian Dream Gifts, made with organic and natural oils that nourish and hydrate your skin. Man, I don't know if it's the weather outside or the gym that was killing my skin, because my right elbow on the, it itched like the Dickens, like I was becoming like the lizard from Marvel Comics. I think it's that machine where you put your elbow in and do the lifts, you know, for the bicep. But I was itching my skin like crazy during, well, I won't say who because I don't want them associated with rough skin, with one of our guests here in the near future here. But my right elbow was getting ashy and coming up, getting red and irritated. Anyway, I used some of the promotional cookie dough body oil from Bohemian Dream Gifts that they gave us, and my skin, I'm not kidding, came back. I can vouch for that one. The cookie dough oil baby body oil, the cookie dough body oil brought my skin back to life like an Evanescence song. I'm not kidding. My skin is smooth and happy again. 100%. You can buy cookie dough oil on Etsy at the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop. Check out their other stuff as well, but that's one that I swear by now. And as soon as my promotional one runs out, I'm going to order some myself. So go to Etsy and visit the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop today. What's better than your favorite talk show? Well, maybe homemade delicious food, cold beer, or a drink of your choosing in a comfortable atmosphere. Well, look no further than the Boulevard Tap House for the world famous fish and chips, seafood, all-around delicious menu with pizza, all kinds of food, wings, steak bites, anything you can imagine when you want to watch the big game or catch some live jazz if you pick the right night. Open 7 days a week. Go to boulevardtaphouse.com right now. I like to go to their Terwilliger Curve location. That's the home location for their not only their fish and chips, and they knew that they always used to give me Caesar chicken salad and wine. They kind of made jokes and made fun of me of that. My favorite food there now might just be the brand new Mark Kevin. That's a margarita pizza named after me. Don't know if they did it because I'm Italian or what, but I had it, and it is delicious and, dare I say, nutritious. Anyway, friends, go on in, have a great time. When you're there, you truly are family. No cap. Enjoy the Boulevard Tap House today.